A studio condo that sold for $520,000 in 2022 is now sitting on the market at $380,000, and it still isn't moving. That's not just a price correction story. That's a story about what happens when the monthly carrying costs on a 380 square foot box start eating up more than what the unit is actually worth in rental income. Maintenance fees on some of Toronto's smallest condos are now running $700, $800, even $900 a month on a unit you could practically touch wall to wall with your arms outstretched. In February 2026, according to TREB data, the average GTA condo price had already dropped 9.1% year over year to around $617,000. That's the headline number. But when you break it down by unit size, the story gets a lot worse. Micro condos, the ones under 400 square feet, have fallen 20 to 30% from their early 2022 peaks. Some individual municipalities have seen declines well past that. And a major reason why buyers still won't touch them, even at these prices, comes down to the monthly fees. Today, we're breaking down exactly why maintenance fees are destroying the valuation case for Canada's smallest condo units, and what that means for owners, investors, and anyone watching this market.
Here's where you need to understand how maintenance fees actually work on a micro condo versus a larger unit. Toronto condo fees are charged on a per square foot basis, and as of 2026, fees across Toronto generally range from 55 cents to $1 per square foot per month, according to data from Monstera Real Estate and Condos.ca. For a 700 square foot one-bedroom, that works out to roughly $385 to $700 a month. Uncomfortable, but manageable for most buyers. Now run the same math on a 350 square foot micro unit. At 80 cents per square foot, which is completely normal for a newer Toronto building with a gym and concierge, you're paying $280 a month in fees alone. Doesn't sound bad yet, right? But here's the problem. The operating costs of running a building don't shrink just because your unit does. The lobby still needs a concierge, the elevator still needs maintenance contracts, the insurance policy still covers the entire building envelope, and all of that gets divided out across every unit by square footage. What that means in practice is that smaller units pay proportionally less in raw dollar terms, but they carry the same weight of cost exposure per square foot as everyone else in the building. And when those costs go up, and they have gone up significantly, there's no cushion. According to the Toronto Star's reporting, confirmed by later studies, the average Toronto condo fee in 2020 was 73 cents per square foot. By 2024, that number had risen to 81 cents per square foot. Fees increased 2.98% in 2021, 2.72% in 2022, and then jumped 5.51% from 2022 to 2023 alone. The owner of a 650 square foot unit was paying $620 more per year by 2024 than they were in 2020, and the pressure hasn't stopped. Condo fees in Toronto rose an average of 3.5% again in 2026, and experts expect 2 to 5% annual increases to continue going forward. For a micro condo investor who bought in 2021, banking on rents covering their costs, this trajectory has been brutal.
The fee problem for micro condos runs deeper than just the annual percentage increases. It's a structural issue, and the Bank of Canada put it plainly in a February 2026 analysis of Toronto's condo slowdown. Micro units, those with 3 or fewer rooms, represent 60% of new condo supply hitting the Toronto market right now. But only 30% of new households have the characteristics typically associated with buyers of those small units. That's a massive mismatch. The bank used those words directly, a sizable mismatch between supply and demand. And that mismatch is putting downward pressure on both prices and rents for small units specifically. So you have a unit type that was already falling in price, and simultaneously the maintenance fees on that unit keep climbing. Those two things working against each other at the same time is what's collapsing valuations. An investor who bought a micro condo in 2022, expecting to rent it out for $2,000 a month, is now looking at rents that have dropped. In Toronto, the average unfurnished one-bedroom rent fell to $1,993 a month as of early 2026, down $156 year over year. In some buildings, it's lower. Meanwhile, their maintenance fee on that same unit is $600 or $700. Their mortgage renewal payment is hundreds of dollars higher than when rates were near zero, and the unit won't appraise anywhere close to what they paid. That's not a tough month. That's a business model that doesn't work anymore. BMO's chief economist Doug Porter said it plainly to Canadian Mortgage Professional. We don't see a quick turnaround on that front. That's probably the last area to turn just because of the amount of supply that's now hitting the market.
Now, here's the part of this story that gets almost no coverage, and it's arguably the most dangerous part for anyone holding a micro condo right now. Ontario's Auditor General reviewed reserve fund studies across the province and found that 69% of condo buildings had inadequate amounts set aside for future repairs. The required contribution increases to fix those shortfalls averaged 50%. That number is not a rounding error. It means the majority of condo buildings in Ontario are underfunded, and that gap gets closed one of two ways. Either monthly fees go up sharply, or a special assessment gets issued to every owner. Special assessments are one-time charges. They are not optional, and they can be very large. One Toronto condo community, profiled by Toronto Condo News in 2026, faced a special assessment of between $15,000 and $30,000 per unit, depending on size, after years of underfunding left a $17 million shortfall in the reserve. Monthly fees in that building were set to nearly triple following the assessment. Up to 70% of owners were expected to move out within 6 months. That's an extreme case, but it illustrates the direction of travel. Construction costs are up 40% since 2020. Insurance premiums on condo buildings in BC jumped 200% to 500% since 2019. Water rates in Toronto rose 3.5% in the city's 2025 budget. Hydro rates were up 4.8%. All of those costs flow directly into a building's operating budget, and from there into your monthly maintenance fee. For a 700 square foot unit, experts at Monstera Real Estate pointed out that fees compounding at just 4% a year result in 48% higher payments over a 10-year period. For a micro condo owner already running a negative cash flow, that trajectory is unsustainable. And this matters enormously for valuation. Toronto realtor Yusuf, speaking to Now Toronto in March 2026, confirmed what buyers are starting to figure out. When banks approve a buyer for a condo with high maintenance fees, they approve them for a lower purchase price. For every $100 a month in additional maintenance fees, a buyer loses roughly $15,000 to $20,000 in borrowing capacity. That directly suppresses what someone can actually pay for your unit.
The numbers in 2026 are stark. According to TRREB data compiled by Deeded, GTA condo prices fell 29.6% between February 2022 and February 2026, from $769,600 down to $542,200 across the full Toronto region. Not a single municipality posted a gain. Markham dropped 39.9%, Durham region dropped 39.5%, and microcondos, the sub-400 square foot investor-grade units, have fallen harder than the broader condo average. RE/MAX Plus City's 2026 Market Guide reported that downtown Toronto condos in the small investor-grade segment have declined 20% to 30% from their early 2022 peak specifically. A studio that was $520,000 in 2022 may now be achievable at $380,000 to $420,000 in certain buildings, and even at those prices, buyers are hesitant. TD Economics published a condo market outlook in May 2026, stating that benchmark GTA resale condo prices fell 10% year over year in the first quarter of 2026, and that prices will likely keep falling through the rest of the year. Their projection, prices won't trend higher in any sustained way until 2028. By that point, they estimate prices will have fallen roughly 25 to 30% from their early 2022 peak.
In Vancouver, a TD Economics research note published June 11, 2026, projected condo prices would fall another 7 to 8% by year's end compared to Q4 2025, which would make it a 15% correction since 2023 and the deepest since at least 2005. Rennie, one of Vancouver's leading market research firms, had forecast a 4 percentage point additional drop in Vancouver condo prices through 2026, and as of mid-June was calling their forecast essentially on track. CMHC's Spring 2026 Housing Supply Report confirmed the pattern from a national level, specifically flagging that new and small condominium apartments show greater imbalance than affordable family-sized ones, putting small units at the front of the pressure wave.
One more piece of this story: the people who are supposed to be buying microcondos are leaving. Investor purchases of new condos in the GTA hit historic lows in early 2026. These are the buyers who drove the market for micro units for the better part of a decade. They're gone, and they're not coming back quickly. As one Toronto agent put it to Canadian Mortgage Professional, when you get burned by an asset class, you don't go back. That's a major group of buyers that the market has essentially lost. New condo sales across the Toronto and Hamilton area fell to just 1,599 units in all of 2025, the lowest since 1991, and roughly 5% of the 2021 peak, according to Urbanation. Developers canceled 28 condo projects in 2025, eliminating more than 7,000 units from the pipeline. The micro condo formula, small unit, low price point, built for investor renters, has been exposed as structurally fragile once immigration slows, rents decline, and carrying costs rise simultaneously. Mortgage Sandbox's January 2026 analysis put it directly. As soon as interest rates normalized and immigration slowed, the underlying fragility became clear. Many microcondos could not command rents or resale prices high enough to justify their original valuations.
If you bought a microcondo in Toronto between 2020 and 2022 with less than 20% down, there's a real chance you're underwater right now. A 5% down payment buyer in Markham, for example, would be more than $300,000 underwater today, according to Deeded's analysis of TREB data. And the maintenance fees aren't coming down. The City of Toronto's water and hydro costs are going up. Buildings are aging. Reserve funds are underfunded across the majority of buildings. The Bank of Canada called out the substantial inventory overhang of small condominiums in some major centers as an active drag on new construction and market recovery as recently as May 2026. For anyone holding a micro condo right now, especially one with fees in the $600 to $900 range, the question isn't whether values have fallen. They have. The question is whether the ongoing carrying costs justify holding through a recovery that TD Economics says is still 2 years away. And for anyone looking at these units as bargains at their current discounted prices, the status certificate matters more now than it ever has. Read the Reserve Fund study. Check the building's last 3 years of fee increases. Find out if a special assessment is coming. A unit that looks cheap at $380,000 looks very different if a $20,000 special assessment lands in your mailbox 6 months after closing. No one expected the carrying costs story to become the dominant story in this market, but in 2026, for Canada's smallest condo units, the maintenance fee is no longer an afterthought. It's the reason the valuation math has stopped working. And until that changes, everyone in this segment, owners, investors, and buyers, is watching closely.